Howdy doody, y'all. How's it going? Welcome to Good Stuff to Know, a place where hopefully you can learn good stuff about yourself, about people around you, and also about the world. My name is Zarif Afandi, and we are recording right here from my home because I am just stuck and locked down here, just like you, probably. And I hope you guys are keeping well. The last time around that I did this, I was talking a little bit about morning protocols and how incorporating morning protocols can help uh, provide you hopefully a good day ahead. And so, moving on from morning protocols, I thought it'd be quite nice as well to share another topic on finding your ikigai. So, if you guys have a look into my social media, which you should, most of the time, I do sign out by saying find your ikigai. And why I do that is because I thoroughly and truly believe in this great concept called ikigai. If you are not yet familiar, ikigai is a concept focusing on life purpose. Iki means life, gai means purpose or value in Japanese. And it's basically a philosophy of finding your meaning and balancing out and understanding how each different component of your life can equate to the total sum of our meaning, basically. So I came across the concept many years ago when I was in university, but later on in life, when I was in a very dark place in my life, actually. I found back the concept of ikigai to be something that really was a nice way of putting things into back into perspective and helping me gravitate back to what my life purpose was, or the journey of finding that life purpose. So you can read a lot about ikigai actually online, and there's actually quite a bit of books about ikigai. Let me just share it with you here. Boom. Yeah, so you can read up a lot on ikigai, but today we'll attempt to just briefly explain about ikigai and why it is actually a great thing to look into. All right, so let me just do this and let me do that. All right, so if you aren't aware of what ikigai is, basically, ikigai is a concept in which we look into our life purpose in four quadrants. In most cases, I guess, when we think about what our life purpose is, it's either we're quite clueless, or it's either very gray, or it seems very large and complicated, and there's so many things to consider, and at the end of the day, we don't even consider what our life purpose is, and we just maneuver through life hoping we one day stumble or even just make do. And I reckon that is really one of the main reasons why so many of us, including myself, I've gone through down this journey where you feel sad and miserable, or you feel like your life really isn't going anywhere, or you think it's going anywhere, but deep down inside it doesn't really have purpose. And so ikigai basically is a way in which it puts life, four different parts of life, into perspective, and the aim is to essentially seek balance from each of those things, right? What are those four things basically? As you can see above, let me try and enlarge this diagram. Boom. All right. So as you can see, we have four things that we look into considering basically, and that is the things that we love, the things that we are good at, the things that pay us, as well as the things that give us meaning or purpose. So how that is it's like four quadrants, right? Your passion, your mission, your profession, and your vocation, basically. And the idea here is that we're trying to look into these four areas, and essentially sometimes you can be doing one thing or another more or less. And so when something is heavier than the other, say for instance, you're doing your job in which you are very good at what you do and you are paid very well, but you don't actually love it and it doesn't actually give you meaning, eventually you will suffer from things like burnout or uh, just a lack of motivation in your work. Um, Likewise, it's the same thing where if you're doing things that you love and however that you're not paid and that's only the only thing you're doing, eventually that too will get to you because we all need to eat and pay the bills. And if you are not figuring that part out, then that too can cause a lot of suffering in your life. So the whole concept of ikigai is really nice and simple, where you look into things that you love. For instance, what could you love? Your family. Look into the things, the work that you have, for instance. So let me tell you how I kind of put this into perspective. For a while in my life, I was working many years in different organizations and companies, and I went corporate for a while. I was actually a chief marketing officer of of Hop On Hop Off, which is a tourism company. Basically, it was great. I wanted to experience what it was like in tourism, but eventually I found out that, and I was paid very well, by the way. Um, and But eventually, I guess in that time of my life, things weren't going too well at home. My relationship at that time was in its failing stage with my ex-wife, and work was just not fulfilling. After a while, it was just going to work and trying to achieve the numbers, the targeted numbers of load of people who would be coming on the bus. And we did pretty all right, right? But eventually, as I said, that meaning of going to work just wasn't strong enough. And so I did have a thing with depression, and as well as uh, my relationship failing at that time. And the thing that helped me really was seeking solace in understanding myself and finding back the meaning of my life. And when I discovered Ikigai, it really was an easy, systematic, simple way actually of putting things into perspective. And after I started assessing back in my life, am I doing the things that I love? Am I using the skills that I've obtained and enjoy doing? Am I paying my bills, right? And am I having a purpose in this world? Am I contributing to what's going on around me? And so once I assessed those four areas, I started to realize that it's not that difficult to um, put things into context. It's definitely difficult to try and get that balance because sometimes we um, embark on something and it could lead us to a rabbit hole. But eventually, I guess, essentially, the whole concept of ikigai, it enables us to put the different components of our lives into perspective, and it's a continuous kind of process where once you've identified it and then you go through life. The process of identifying your ikigai itself is a very important process as well. I think for me, I went through numerous mindfulness, personal development, self discovery methods, and essentially that helped me to really assess the inner layers of my ikigai. And it has been really amazing. It's something that I go back very often because sometimes we're doing something and we're preoccupied with whatever it is life brings us, and then soon enough we realize that we're either too consumed or we have neglected one part of our lives, and that can lead to very disastrous effects. You have big super mega stars like Amy Winehouse or Kurt Cobain, who were doing amazing in their lives. They were reaching the top pinnacle of their careers, and yet they succumbed to depression and took their lives even. um, and also there are also others out there who are just make doing and living 10, 20, 30, a lifetime of years, and just make doing without actually doing the things that they love. And also that too eats you up slowly but surely. So yeah, so this is the whole concept of ikigai, as you can see, right? Just look into this, right? Try and assess this. This is not entirely too complicating, really, but it's an ongoing process. Um, Essentially, as we start identifying this, we take steps, we take the methods to try and improve each component of our lives. And as long as we're sincere, as long as we are truthful about what we want, and as long as we work hard for it, and have the resilience, inshallah, we will see the great changes that happen in our life and continue to find our ikigai and live our purpose. So let me just close that window. Boom. Yep. So that's the concept of ikigai, basically. It's a great, simple concept. Funny enough, I speak to some of my friends who've been to Japan or lived in Japan or speak Japanese or are Japanese. Some are a little bit familiar with the concept. Some say they're not at all familiar with the concept, but it's there. And at the end of the day, there's so many things for us to learn in this world to make us better, to improve ourselves. And if we want to do the right, and if we want the best things to happen to us, then it's important for us to continue learning, continue developing, continue improving, and hopefully that leads us to the best life that we can. So yeah, I hope you guys found that a little bit useful. Um, it's really something that means very much to me. You know, if you can see my Instagram or Facebook, which you should be connected with me, I hope you come in and press all those connect, subscribe, thingo buttons and keep us engaged. I hope you guys have a great day ahead, and till next time, peace.